Good evening and welcome to the official co-stream of the back-to-back NBA 2K League champions Wizards District Gaming. Tonight, the 3v3 champions Wizards D.G take on the Rim Runners in the second round of group play. Alongside Chris, my name is John, and welcome to tonight's best-of-5 matchup in the Coinbase 3v3 Switch Open. Last week, these two teams faced off against each other, and it came down to the wire as the Rim Runners forced Game 5 against the 3v3 champs. And tonight, the current 3v3 champs are going to look to take 2 of 2 from the Rim Runners. Now, Chris, we were talking a little bit before we came live on stream. You're actually familiar with some of these players on this amateur team, the Rim Runners. Can you give us a little insight on what we can expect tonight as they go up against Wiz DG?
Absolutely. First of all, John, I'm excited to start this journey with you and welcome everyone to the broadcast. So for the Rim Runners, their point guard, Seldom, he's pretty well known in the community. He's gone for the league for a few years now. He's been in the top 150, 200 pool quite a few times. And he's more of a pace point guard. In 5v5, he likes to play kind of like a more distributor type role of a point guard, and you see that kind of reflect in some of his games for 3v3 as well. You'll see him rack up the assists as opposed to the point total. But he's a good game manager and somebody that you definitely like to have on your side. And then with Lawrich, he's widely considered to be like a top 20 post-draft prospect, and he mainly plays lockdown. So he comes from the stage and park world, so he's perfect for this environment. And I'm excited to see what adjustments they make to us for this series today.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the cool things about the whole 3v3 aspect of the league this year is those amateur slots allowing these semi-pro amateur teams to compete against the best of the best. I mean, Rim Runners are living a dream right now. They're going up against the back-to-back NBA 2K League champions. They have to be feeling good. Last week, again, it went all 5 games. It took the distance going up against Wiz DG. But tonight, obviously, Wiz DG has to be the favorites here. Obviously, anything can happen in a 3v3 environment. It's a little bit more of an arcade light versus the 5v5 simulation that we're all used to in the NBA 2K League. But it should be very exciting. We are still waiting for the official stream to pop up and ready to go here. But just to go over the starting 3, so let's see here. We actually are being told it's starting up here, but as soon as that stream pops up, we'll get that up here for you. So Seldom, Lawrich, Low-Key, Godlike are your starting 3 for the Rim Runners. I didn't get any tweet notification here on my phone, but I'm going to go ahead and assume it's Dayfry, Nudini, and Just Awkward, the same 3 that ran it back last week as well against this same team. So it should be exciting there to see the boys back in action, looking to punch their ticket back to Indianapolis. As we are still looking for that stream to pop up here, NBA 2K League. We would like that stream here sooner rather than later, but it's all good. But yeah, while we're waiting here, let's talk a little bit about what the 3v3 aspect brings here to the league. Obviously, it has an opportunity to have... Still looking for it. Oh, and we found the stream. Perfect. Even better. Look at that. You know what? We're going to stop talking.
All right.
We're going to go in-game here. So we will switch it on over as the 2K League was nice enough to get that up and running. It's an early 5-2 lead so far for the defending champs. Lawrich with the ball, Seldom in the backcourt. The pressure coming out from Dayfry, and it does look like it is Just Awkward, Nudini, and Dayfry, the starting lineup for Wiz DG as the foul is called on Dayfry for the reach. Just a quick reminder here for the rules. Actually, no, go ahead, Chris. You were about to say something. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. I was just gonna say I like that reach by Dayfry right there. The Wizards, everyone here probably watches the Wizards relentlessly. We're one of the more aggressive teams, and our chemistry is top notch. So it allows us to go for more steals, more passing lanes, knowing that people behind us, such as Nudini and Just Awkward, will have our backs if we go for those passing lanes or on-ball steals.
And Dayfry playing the guard position. The last game of the regular season last year. Kind of in a little bit of a joke game, actually played in the point guard position, taking over the spot for JBM, which flexed down to the 4. Dayfry put up, I believe, over 20 points in that game. So definitely capable of playing the guard role. Again, a lot of these pros here used to playing multiple positions, going through the combine, earning their spot in the draft, and then eventually getting to the league.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think Dayfry is widely considered the GOAT of 2K. I saw a Twitter poll recently if there was a redraft from all the players who were ever in the league who would go #1 overall, and Dayfry was the overwhelming favorite for that. So I'm happy to have him on our side for sure.
Absolutely. Talk about a steal of a trade all the way back in Season 2. Dayfry coming over from Mavs Gaming. Seems like an eternity ago. He's been with this team for so long and brought 2 championships to DC. As Dayfry gets the ball all tied up at 7. Dayfry deep downtown, rims out.
Good shot. Just didn't green it.
That's really what comes down to. It's all about timing. As Lawrich driving the lane, Nudini's there, forces the kick out.
And it's going to be a lot tougher on Dayfry than most every other point guard in this tournament, just because he normally plays center and never has to shoot the ball just because he's not on a shooting build. So, he has to go from playing one complete role to the opposite in a matter of weeks.
Down low, it's godlike. Easy 2 points there, and Rim Runners take the lead, 9-7. Again, it's first 21 by 2 points. It's a best-of-5 series between these two teams today. Dayfry passing over Nudini, going up against Seldom. Down low to Awkward for the one-handed jam. We're all tied at 9.
You can tell that Rim Runners, I think they have a little bit more cohesion on defense than they probably even did last week. They're probably, it even looks to me like they're communicating more. Obviously, we can't know that for sure, but the rotations right now and Hedge is really on point.
Lawrich gives a lead back to Rim Runners. Wizards D.G really making a name for themselves the past couple years with their strong defensive play. Here in 3v3, I have to imagine it's a little bit harder just with how more open the court really is.
It is, and I mean, we run the lineup where we have 2 guards. We don't have a lockdown archetype out there, so it's really on a scorer build with not very many defensive badges to get stops on these tough ball handlers. And right there, you see Dayfry with the guess pluck, and he guessed right. It's unfortunate it went out of bounds, but oh, that's actually our ball. Okay,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good poke. Wins possession back. Gotta like that. It's a close game. All tied at 11 here in game 1. Dini in the corner finds Dayfry for the 3. Can't get it to go, but just Awkward there. Kicks it back. On the baseline. And that is where that center experience for Dayfry comes in. Takes it himself. Lead back to Wizards D.G.
You talk about mashing. Dayfry is one of the pioneers of mashing inside that restricted circle.
Godlike with the 3-point shot, rims out, offensive board by Seldom, loose ball, foul called on Nudini for the reach.
You see both teams running poppers at the center, so it opens up, the court's already spaced as it is, and when you run a popper at the center position, there's even more space for cuts and rim runs from your point guard.
Under 5 on the shot clock, Godlike for the 3. Can't get it to go, and Dayfry with the board. A chance here for Wizards D.G to tie the game back up. Dini, the 3, can't get it to go. Lawrich with the board.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got really fortunate right there that Godlike missed that wide open 3, but then the game just gave right back to us with Dini.
Unfortunately, it's a breakfast at the moment, but the quick pass to Dayfry takes it, kicks it out to Dini in the corner, drains it for the 3. It's a 5-point lead.
And this is the point in the game, especially in 3v3, just no 3s given up. They're probably Awkward's going to play really high and not give up any 3s on screens because they can play a 2-possession game right here.
Pitch over to Seldom, gets Awkward to jump. Godlike the panic 3, front rim, no good. The quick pass, Dayfry in the corner, finds Nudini in the lane, makes it 18-11. Wizards D.G within 3 of clinching game 1.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of late releases coming from the Rim Runners. I'm not sure if it's a connection issue or maybe they're just nervous playing us, but we'll definitely take that.
Seldom finds space, takes it to the rim, cuts the lead down to 5.
That's completely fine. We'll give up 2s all day.
A lucky deflection there, almost a turnover, but Wizards D.G holds on to possession. Dayfry finds space, takes it to the hoop within 1 point now. It's 20-13 here in game 1.
This should, knock on wood, but this should be all wrapped up right here. We can even give up a 2 and score ourselves and we'll be good to go.
Seldom finds space, hesitated a little bit. Ends up taking it to the rim. Now Wizards D.G could be the final possession here in game 1. Dayfry taking his time. Seldom looking to apply that pressure. Awkward looking.
Dayfry, it looks like Dayfry picked up a lot of little tips and tricks from JBM, and there we
There it
go. There's the
is.
win.
Yeah, I
Very
spent a lot of
nice.
time with JBM last year.
Yep.
JBM, of course, finals MVP last year in that back-to-back run. Who knows, man? Maybe he's taking some side lessons with JBM still.
Absolutely. I mean, the pace that Dayfry plays in 3v3 is similar to what JBM plays in 5v5. So he definitely learned something along the way of back-to-back championships.
Absolutely. So Dayfry ends up leading the way with 13 points. Nudini with 7. Seldom the leading scorer for the Rim Runners with 9 points. But again, Dayfry, I mean, even at a guard position, just looking at his stat line, 13 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Super impressive. Just Awkward, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Awkward really being the guy cleaning the glass this entire game. Something he is used to, but we know more for his defensive play here in 3v3. It's a little different, but still making a big impact for the team.
Absolutely, and more credit to our guys as well. Like mentioned with Dayfry, he's normally a center playing point guard, but I mean, Dini is normally a power forward playing shooting guard, and Justin's usually a lockdown playing center. So while all these guys, they play different positions in the off season, and they're more than capable of it. In the middle of a league season, it's very difficult to move from archetype to archetype, let alone from position to position. So that just makes what we do all the more impressive to me.
Absolutely, and we are just moments away from the start of Game 2. I guess that's one of the nice things about 3v3 is how little downtime there is in between these games. Again, it has that more of a arcadey-like feel to it versus that 5v5 simulation where, you have those locked-in times where there's a 5-minute break for halftime. There is maybe a 5 to 7 minute reset in between Game 1 and Game 2 if it's a series. So we are just waiting for that to restart here in just a few moments, making sure they didn't switch the stream here on me, and they did not as of yet. But so far, so good. 1-for-1 for Wizards D.G. Takes the series lead 1-0 in this best of 5. Obviously, we came in a little bit late when it was or the game was already underway there. But what we saw from the defending 3v3 champs right now, I think is pretty good. A lot of times, like you were saying, it's definitely different playing that 3v3 style versus that 5v5. There's, it's open, it's a lot faster. You can find those openings a lot quicker to drive the lane going to the rim. So overall, a good start here. Definitely something they can build that momentum off of going into Game 2.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And one thing I know that Coach Pat is probably preaching to the guys, one of his nitpicks is they're definitely going to have to guard the pop a little bit better this game. Low key, Godlike got 2 or 3 wide open threes on a pop near the top and right wing, and he's just mistimed all of his shots. So if he gets that corrected, that could be a little bit scary for us moving forward. So hopefully we adjusted that here in Game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you were mentioning it during the call there in Game 1 as well. Having those open three-pointer looks, as a former player in the league, when you get a wide open look, is it almost like maybe like when I'm playing in real life and I get a wide open three, is it like, oh wow, I need to hit this, I'm wide open. Is there kind of like a little bit of a panic that sets in there, or is it just still more about making sure you're hitting your timing correctly?
That's very possible, especially in Park, because the game's up to 21, so every possession is magnified times 10. So, you don't want to be the person who misses the wide open shot. So sometimes it's more relaxed and just it's easier to green when someone's closing out on you just because you're not really expected to hit the shot as much. But at the end of the day, these guys are professionals. They should all know their shot timing like the back of their hands. And if they miss shots, it can be on the game, but a lot of the time it is actually user error.
User error describes my ability in playing 2K for sure. As we are still waiting here for Game 2 to start. A little bit of a delay here for the start of Game 2. So we're waiting for that to roll around. Just taking a look around some of the other games right now. Lakers Gaming up on Dot Squad 20-18. Lakers Gaming looking to take the Game 1 win there. Meanwhile, over with the Dream Shakers and Magic Gaming. Dream Shakers actually up against Magic Gaming right now. They are currently in Game 1 as well, as all the 8 p.m. tip-offs are now underway for those games as well. Again, still waiting for Game 2 to start back up here. What the 2K League described as a quick restart. Not so quick. Oh, but there we go. Just like that, you say it, you speak it into existence, and there it is. We're headed into game 2 right now, and it's the Rim Runners starting with the ball first.
See if Seldom tries to be a little bit more aggressive scoring this game. I mentioned that he's more of a facilitator, but we'll see if he can score.
That's a turnover for Wizards D.G, leading to the first 2 points of the game. The defense from Wizards D.G leading to the early game lead. The Rim Runners, not a good start there. They almost lose the ball once again. Nudini.
So it actually looks like the Rim Runners completely changed their lineup. Godlike's now on a guard build, and Lawrich is on a bigger build. So we'll see how that plays out for them.
Cross-court pass, Nudini going up against Seldom, looking for space. Will bring the ball back towards the top of the key.
And fading is such a big part in this game. You see Dini try to fade to the right, fade to the left. He is right-handed, so his fade to the left will be a little bit quicker. But then, as I say, a fade to the right in a green, we'll take that all day up 5-2.
Absolutely beautiful shot from Nudini. I like to call him Dini Daggers for him. Always finds a way, even if it's off balance. Sinks those shots.
Or Beanie Dini when he has his superpowers in his beanie.
Rim Runners, after a little bit of a sloppy start, managed to pull it back within 1.
And you see this game, they're really going at Seldom on defense. Dini's really controlling the ball and forcing Seldom to play defense. I'm interested if Godlike might be on a more of a defensive build to counter Dayfry.
Beautiful look down low. It's awkward.
That's something if you play Wizards D.G, you always have to be aware of those inbound backdoor cuts. We love doing that in 3v3.
Seldom looking for space. Will take the deep 3 and will hit it and ties it up at 7.
At the crab, that's a great shot. Let's see if he can build on that.
Awkward back to Nudini. Again, no backcourt in 3v3.
Oh, that opens up the floor even more for just more rim runs and pops.
Awkward finding Dini down low, kicks it back out. Dayfry thought about it for a second. Takes the ball into the corner.
Awkward's in rebound position. Let's see if he can. Oh, we got hit the 3. Let's go.
No rebound needed when Dini strokes it like that. Makes it 10-7. Wizards D.G well on their way here in game 2. Seldom responds, hits a 3 of his own, makes it 10 apiece.
This one's fast-paced. Like it.
Awkward all alone. The two-handed jam to lead back to the champs.
See if we can get one stop. Dave. Oh, there we go.
There's the steal. You called it, Chris. Dayfry causing some problems. Drives the lane, tries to kick it out to Nudini, takes the deflection off.
Dayfry is kicking himself right there. He made the wrong read. Awkward was wide open in that right corner.
Ten seconds on the shot clock. Nudini needs a little help. Awkward coming back. Now under 5. Dini back out to Dayfry for the 3. Rims out. Can't get the rebound for Awkward. It's the Rim Runner's ball. Seldom the deep 3. It's no good. Ball will go out of bounds. Wizards D.G possession.
Definitely a makeable shot, but early in the shot clock, I don't think that's really what the Rim Runners were looking for right there. So hopefully we can capitalize right here. Go up 2 possessions.
Nudini looking to take it himself. He will all the way to the basket. 14-10 for the champs.
That's the power of having a popping center. The other guy can help, and the lane is wide open.
Godlike into the corner, pulls up the 3, can't get it to go. Lawrich with the offensive board finds Godlike again. Seldom looking to reset, going up against Dayfry. Now over to Godlike, going up against Nudini. Pops the 3, can't get it to go. Loose ball. And Rim Runners again, another offensive board.
On possessions like this, it's really hard to get stops, and we did. That's amazing defense by Wiz. Three straight stops on 1 possession.
Nudini finding Awkward. Lawrich called for the reach-in. Something I find interesting here is a player can foul out. Obviously, you get to your 6th foul. then the player has to quit the game and be replaced by an AI player. And if there's one thing I know is the AI is always a lot worse than any
Yeah,
other
you
player.
don't want that at all. Just because the AI, you can just shoot over. You can just go spot up in the corner and then shoot every single shot, and you should be able to green 9 out of 10. So that's not what we want.
Dayfry down low. Up and in. 6-point lead, getting ever closer to that 21-point mark.
And just as we mentioned in game one, a kind of a similar spot, just no threes defense. I'm sure, the hedge defender will play high. We're going to let up slips and no threes. He did manage to get an open, but another white coming in from the rim runners.
Houdini taking his time, finding Dayfry. Finds the lane. Super
That's the
patient.
center hit him right there. Yep.
That's beautiful. Let the defender run by. Dayfry puts it up and in. 3 points away from taking game 2 and a 2-0 series lead. And it's another turn. Oh, nope. They're going to call that a reach in. That's okay. That's okay. I believe that's Houdini's either first or second, so he'll be fine. No worry of an AI player popping in anytime soon.
Not quite just yet.
Seldom looking for space. Finds it, drives the lane. Rim Runners up to 12 now, still facing an uphill climb here as Wizards D.G is just a 3-point shot away from clinching game 2. Dini on the baseline, takes it himself, 20-12, 1 possession away from clinching game 2.
I don't think people who don't play the league build realize how hard it is to stop someone on a non-defensive build in an ISO situation. It's very difficult, and we'll take that all day as we're going for game right here on this last possession. Hopefully.
Wiz DG have the chance to ice it right here after the air ball. Dini in the corner calls game. That's a 2-0 series lead for Wiz DG as Houdini drops 15 points in game 2.
And we saw the rim runners change the lineup. We saw Godlike move from the 3 to the 2, and he just got, their defense was not as good in my opinion. So I'll be interested to see if they go back to the game 1 lineup, or maybe they even have a third lineup in mind. But either way, that just proves to me that they're not really confident in what they're doing. So we'll see how they bounce back for game 3. But I like where we stand right now, up 2-0.
Yeah, up 2-0 for the defending 3v3 champs, for the defending back-to-back champs of the 2K League. Whatever the Rim Runners did there, obviously you pointed out there at the beginning of game 2, they changed up their archetypes here a little bit. And it just didn't work out for him at all. You have Seldom only being able to drop 8 points compared to back in game 1. It was 9, but the rest of his cast there, low-key Godlike, 2 points, matching his total from game 1. Law Rich dropped from 4 to 2. I mean, really, it's 2 very different styles here going up against Wiz DG, and neither one worked for the Rim Runners. And now they're going into game 3. Wiz DG is 1 game away from the clean sweep. And their backs are against the wall. They have to figure out something. Do you expect them to kind of change up their archetypes again going into game 3? Or is this kind of that moment where they just need to play in the archetype and style that they're just comfortable in to have a fighting chance?
Yeah, it's really hard to tell, honestly. They probably will change it up again just because they're down 0-2 and probably pretty rattled with the outcome so far. I will say that Godlife has been 0 for 3 in game 1 and then 0 for 3 in game 2, and a lot of his looks have been opens. He's just poorly mistiming his shots. So maybe it's a connection issue. Maybe he's just not used to the archetypes that he's playing with. But if he's not able to find his shot timing, it's going to be really, really difficult for the Rim Runners to come back just because, I mean, there's only 3 people on the court and he's going to find himself open. So if he's not able to green those open shots, it's going to be a tough uphill battle down 0-2 for the Rim Runners.
Absolutely. In game 3, just moments away. But before we head on over there, just a few kind of things for homework here for you, just real quick. Make sure you stay tuned. After the entire series is done, we'll have a post-game wrap-up show here for you as well. We'll hear from one of the players and also from head coach Pat Crossan post-game as we take a look into this matchup and their next matchup, which, fun fact, comes tomorrow. Tomorrow night, it'll be an 8 p.m. tip-off against Hornets GT. And the cool thing about this one, Chris, is that this is actually going to be broadcast live from the Wizards draft party in downtown Washington, D.C. at Capital One Arena. So it's going to be a lot of fun to have the guys there. We'll have a whole streaming setup down there as well. It'll be super cool to call that 3v3 matchup against the Hornets live as we're finding out who's going to be the next member of the Wizards joining this team. So it's going to be super exciting. It's going to be a fun night. And hopefully, make sure if you're not doing so already, you're following here on Twitch. You're following Wizards D.G on social media as well to make sure that you're up to date with all the start times because fun fact, they like to change the start times sometimes. This was supposed to be an 8 p.m. tip. We tipped off a little after 8. We were also told it might be tipping off at 7:30. So make sure you follow along, and we'll let you know as soon as those tip times are adjusted as well. So let's take a look here. So we're going to have a little bit of a longer delay, just being told that one of the players had to restart their PlayStation 5. So it's just going to be another few moments for them to load back in and create the lobby. But nonetheless here, Chris, since we have you on here and we're talking a little bit here about the 3v3, let's talk a little bit about what we can expect from 5v5 since we're kind of picking up these co-streams here mid-season. Last year, last couple years, they had co-streams allowed from the get-go. This year was kind of a little wonky as everyone was trying to kind of figure out, is it going to be a remote play? Is it going to be in-person play? Late decisions were made, but nonetheless, here we are. But 5v5, I guess one of the big things that we need to talk about is the trade that happened about a month ago now where, we'll talk about it a little bit. We'll just tease it a little bit. But Cap being traded here to DC in the middle of the first 3v3 tournament has already come in and played out of his mind, playing incredibly well. Again, it's no knock against anybody who was on the team prior, but Cap coming in definitely feeling that team chemistry from the get-go. So super excited to see this team once 5v5 rolls back around.
Absolutely. I mean, we were in the gauntlet back in the tournament. We played the T-Wolves in the Final Four, who, in my opinion, have one of the best backcourts in the league. And then, obviously, the Sixers in the finals, who we ended up losing to, also have a top 3 backcourt. So, and Cap held his own great his first time on stage. So I'm excited for the future of our team.
It was a fast break, but it's going to be held. It's going to be held short here as Lawrich gets called for the reach-in. Wizards D.G with the early 2-0 lead here in Game 3. It is a 2-0 series lead for Wizards D.G. And on the restart, Dayfry unable to convert on the layup. It's going to be the Rim Runners going the other way, looking for the first points here in Game 3, and they'll find it.
Luckily, that was a 2, not a 3, and it does look like the Rim Runners kept the same lineup as Game 2, so we'll see if they made adjustments off of that same lineup.
Dini being patient with the ball. Another reach-in from low-key Godlike. Not a Godlike move there as he gets called for the foul.
See if the Wizards run one of our inbound plays right here to get a backdoor cut. It's like a simple setup, pick and roll.
Dayfry looking for space, trying to create it. Finds just awkward down low, off the glass and in. The lead back to Wizards D.G.
When a little guy gets switched on a big guy, especially in Park with really no help defense coming in, it should be a bucket every single time.
Awkward just arriving late there, all tied up at 4.
This is how the games have been going. It's been kind of close, and then around the 10-point mark, we kind of pull away.
Now Godlike looking to get the lead for the Rim Runners. Seldom guarded by Dayfry, looking for that space. Awkward is there. Great positioning there, forces down low, and he'll take the two-handed jam, and the Rim Runners have their first lead here in Game 3.
We have numbers. We should capitalize right here. There we go.
Just like that. All tied back up at 6. It's super quick here in 3v3. I love it.
It is. It's up and down, back and forth, and like you said, the games just go in and out. I like that a lot.
Dayfry fronting. Awkward completes it 8-6. Awkward forcing the turnover, finding Dayfry the give and go, and the lead back to the good guys.
The Rim Runners are not doing themselves any favors. All 3 games now, it's tied, and what does them in around this mark is turnovers, and we're doing a great job in passing lanes to get those and open up the game.
The board from Awkward, finding Dayfry along the baseline, kicks it back out. Awkward finding Dayfry again. Great ball movement down low. The two-handed jam, make it look easy, Wizards D.G.
And it's funny, Game 1 was Dayfry's game, Game 2 is Dini's game, and Game 3 now looks like it's Awkward's game with 8 points already here with only 10 points for the team.
Seldom guarded by Nudini. Finds space.
We
2-point
actually got
game.
really fortunate right there. Lawrich had a wide open three. He just chose not to take it and dribble to the corner. He might be on an inside build. I'm not sure, not knowing the archetypes.
Dayfry looking to get his own rebound. Can't get it. Seldom collects the ball. Going the other way. Seldom down low to Godlike. Up and in. Ties it up at 10.
Good on Awkward right there. He knows, he could have went for that block, but if he does, that's a wide open corner three, and we're down one. So I'd rather be tied.
Dayfry, mid-range jumper is good to go.
Who said the mid range is dead?
Good defense from Dayfry there. He got called for the reach in, but nonetheless gets the pressure on the rim runners.
Yeah, I love the aggressiveness, and it just puts it in the mind of Seldom that he is reaching, so he's better be careful with his movements and where he's putting the ball, because if he goes too far to one direction and Dayfry guesses right, that's going to be a steal and 2 points the other way.
It's a quick second foul there on Dayfry. Lawrich in the corner, wide open. Can't miss those, and he didn't. Rim runners up by 1. Pass over to Dini in the corner. Back out to Dayfry. Can't get it to go. Strong rebound collected by Lawrich, and the runners looking to build on their 1-point lead.
It must be a park thing on this league build where it makes you shoot lates, because Dini shot a late earlier and was open, and now Dayfry with the late, and I know that they know their shot timings like the back of their hand.
Dayfry wide open for 3, drills it in the lead back to Wizards D.G. Now within 6 points of completing the sweep.
All the pressure right here is on rim runners. If they don't score here, it's over. Okay.
Tied up at 15 apiece now. Wizards D.G. trying to find a way to pull away here in game 3, and Dayfry, unguarded, just walks it in, 17-15.
Yeah, you see it on both sides. It's almost impossible to guards one-on-one without defense in your build. That's why stops are even all more impressive.
Seldom looking for space, takes the 3. Hand in the face and everything, still converts. We're all tied at 17. The closest game of the series so far.
Seldom has badge now too, so it's very important right here that we score, because it's almost a guaranteed bucket for him or the center slip on the other end.
Dayfry looking for space, finds Nudini. Being patient, looking for space along the baseline, turns the ball over. Don't want to see that. Going the other way, it's Godlike in the corner, forces the 3. That was a bad look. Now Dayfry for 3. Hits it within 1 point. Dayfry coming up big.
Wow, man, that is the biggest swing I've ever, Godlike shot a leaning contested shot in the corner with Seldom with badge on a fast break. That's tough to watch right there, but great for Wizards D.G. fans.
Could be the final possession here for Wizards D.G. Like you were saying, with Seldom with his badge up, you definitely want to convert here. Awkward for 3, can't get it to go. The rebound collected by the rim runners. Again, it's 21
they got
by 2.
just enough of a contest right there, but that's still a great shot by Justin with his badge as well.
Seldom looking for space. Good switch there.
5 seconds.
Defense forcing a 3-point shot. Can't get it to go. And a big rebound for Awkward, finding Dayfry. And down low to Nudini. Kicks it back out. Awkward for 3. Calls game and completes the sweep. Just Awkward with the nail in the coffin.
Man, that was an exciting ending. The rim runners got a few open looks that they missed. We did get a little bit blessed, but at the same time, we played really good defense, switching and making that shot clock go down and taking the 3-0 sweep. What a series.
Absolutely insane. There is a clean sweep. We don't have to go 5. We can put last week behind us now. That is a clean 3-0 sweep over here, and it's absolutely fantastic. Looks like we are going to be getting Nudini for the post-game interview, followed by head coach Pat Crossan. What we'll do here real quick, let's do a quick overview. I mean, obviously, a 3-0 sweep is exactly what you're looking for, not just as the defending 3v3 champs, but as the defending back-to-back champs as well. You have to feel good going into this game, knowing that this team took you 5 games last week, and then now you're able to get the clean sweep on them.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a confidence booster for us, and for them, it's probably pretty demoralizing. They might have thought that they could build off of last week's 3-2, but coming in here and getting swept, they're gonna have to go back to the drawing board and really figure something out on their end.
And that is the quickest interview prep I've ever seen here as Nudini is ready to go. Awesome, perfect. Look at that. Unmutes the mic and everything. We will get that over to. You gotta find out where the interview tab is. It's just like that, and we are now joined by Nudini, coming off of the 3-game sweep over the Rim Runners. Nudini, I have to ask you first here. What was the big difference between this week versus last week against the same team that took you guys 5 games?
I honestly think the difference this week was we just had better energy going into this game. I feel like sometimes with how the league is set up this year, where it goes 5v5, like we made it to the finals of the turn, and then 3 days later we have to play 3v3. We didn't really have a lot of time to prep. Everybody was still kind of mentally drained from, we had to play the T-Wolves and then Sixers right after that. And I think coming into this week, we just realized, like, look, if we don't have the energy and like get back to the basics that got us the chip in the last tournament in threes, then we're not going to make Indy. And big props to Ryan and Justin. They picked me up, and they brought the energy, and I got to get them back tomorrow.
Yeah, Dini. First of all, what's up? Good to see you. Great win. How much pressure does it put you guys? Because you guys are pretty much the pioneers of running the 2 guard system in Park, and a lot of people are following it now in this tournament. But how much pressure does it put on you guys and your guys' communication, not running a lockout there to really get stops, especially on like ISO situations?
It definitely takes a lot of communication. Obviously, last week when we played Gen G, they just ISO'd me and took Ryan and Justin out of the play, and that's just when I have to step up. I have to be able to get a stop, and I was on the defensive shooting guard build that is like a sharp block, and I didn't get stops. Um, but I feel like now we just went back to our normal lineup, me on the offensive block, and if worse comes to worse and people are running 2 guard and I can't get a stop on it, then we put Justin on it when he's on the 6-8 and we live with the results. Either I try to box out and let him get the board after he contests, or I just try to fight for the board. It's about all you can do.
Yeah, and you mentioned there a little bit as well, talking about how they're in game 3. Your teammates are able to pick you up there. That's a kind of a running theme here for this Wiz DG squad, is that if a player for whatever reason is having an off game, the other players are able to step in and fill that gap. And they're in game 3. Obviously, Dayfry and Awkward both with double digits there. Dayfry 12 points, Awkward 11. But we take a look at the entire series. In game 2, Dayfry and Awkward managed to only have 4 points apiece, and then you dropped 15. So you were able to step into that. What does that say about this team and the team chemistry and their ability you guys' ability to really work together as a team in all situations?
It just shows the trust that we have 1 through 5. No matter who's on the court, everybody trusts one another. Ryan trusts me to get a bucket if I have the non-lock on me. I trust him to get a bucket. We trust Justin to hit those shots. I knew he had badge in that last game, and I was just like, look, Ryan's gonna hit me on this cut, and I know Justin's gonna be trailing, so I'll throw it back to him, and he has a badge where he can make lightlies. If he makes it, great. If not, then we just got to live with the results. But it's really just picking each other up every single game, because game 3, it was 17-17. I tried to go baseline. I got blitzed and lost the ball, and then someone got the ball right back. We played a hella defense. We got the ball right back, and then Ryan got a bucket for me, and he picked me up in that game.
And Dini, obviously, I know in the offseason, having played with you before, you play a lot of point guard and shooting guard in retail. So how much do you think that helps you translate over to the 3v3 side on the league build? Do you think it gives you an advantage, especially for someone who goes from playing a power forward position in a 5v5 to a guard? I know it might be difficult, but can you kind of draw on your experience in retail and past years in the league playing on a guard build?
Yeah, I feel like I do. Obviously, last year when I came in to start the season at shooting guard, I didn't touch shooting guard at all last year or any guard build. But this offseason, I actually started off the 2K actually playing with Seldom. I was playing shooting guard for Seldom, and I just got the movement down. I got kind of used to it. I figured out a couple dribble moves and the fades, and I feel like it's helping me now. But I got to get back to where I was in the first tournament, because I feel like right now I'm making it harder on myself by not taking easy buckets. I'm trying to 3-hunt too much. I'm trying to show that I can dribble instead of just getting back to what we do, and that's me running away from off the screen and either taking the rim run, taking the three, or hitting the slip. Right now, I'm just running off the screen and I'm trying to courage and quick stop, or I'm trying to Trae Young get a crab instead of just taking points. And sometimes that can hurt us.
Absolutely. So let's preview tomorrow's game here. Again, it's an 8 p.m. tip-off against Hornets Venom GT. It's going to be a different environment for you guys also because it's going to be held live at the Wizards Draft Watch Party in Capital One Arena. So it's going to be remote, but there's going to be a little bit of a crowd there as well. But you're going to be going up against Hornets Venom GT. This is a series that last week went 3-1 in favor of Wizards D.G as well. Break this matchup down here a little bit. Obviously, you're able to go from 5 games to a clean sweep against the Rim Runners. Now you're going up against another NBA 2K League team in Hornets Venom. What are you guys looking forward to change, or how are you able to break down this Hornets Venom team going for the matchup tomorrow?
I mean, we played them in the quarterfinals of the first tip-off or the first tourney, and now we're playing them again. This is our I don't even know how many times we played them in 3v3. It's like the Knicks when we played them in 5v5. But it's not really. It's just we got to see what lineup they're running. I know we were watching the Gen.G and Hornets game, and the Hornets started off on the 7-1, and then they switched to the Versatile Paint Beast, and I don't even know how that series ended. I don't know if Gen.G ended up winning it. I don't know if Hornets ended up coming back and winning the series. So it really just depends on what they come out in. But tomorrow's a must-win game. If we win the series tomorrow, we're in Indy, and that's the main goal. If we get to Indy, I feel like we're a different team.
Yeah, and then speaking of in-person play, do you see any difference playing like 3v3 in person versus 5v5, or is it pretty similar? Obviously, having only two other teammates on stage, it might be a little bit weird. So talk to me about how that first experience was in Indy.
I liked. Obviously, the last time we were in Indy, we had a couple. We had a little incident. So like, there was one day we got to play on stage for the first series, and then we had to play from upstairs, and then we got back on stage. I like the 3v3 environment on stage because it brings out, like, when I'm actually hooping, it like brings out a different energy because like all these like years I've had people say like, oh, like you can't play guard, and like threes it's just fun. Like I get to get off power forward, I get to go play guard, and I just got to get back in that bag I was in the first tournament, because the first tournament when we got to the semifinals and the finals, even against the Hornets, I just felt like there was not a guard on the court that could guard me. And if people are going to be running 2 locks, I got to get back to that mindset of that nobody can guard me. And if I have that mindset, I don't think we'll lose a game.
All right, that is Nudini of the 3-0 clean sweep Wizards D.G going up against the Rim Runners here. Nudini, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck tomorrow. And who knows, you might be on the post show tomorrow as well.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dini. Good luck.
All right, that is Nudini with the winners here against the Rim Runners. Again, it's a clean 3-0 sweep, and we are just now moments away from being joined by the head coach, the coach of the year, Pat Crossan here, as he is almost ready to go. I will get the slide ready to go. We'll do a really cool transition, and bam, head coach Pat Crossan now joining us on stream. Pat, congratulations on the win again. I'm going to start with the same question I asked Nudini. This was a Rim Runners team that took you guys 5 games last week. What was the big difference in preparation going up against this team?
I think we just had a good rhythm versus them. Obviously, if you play 5 games versus a team, you get to know them very well. And some of these amateur teams we've never seen before, so we don't really know their tendencies. And, playing them last week, obviously, we picked up a few things going into this week. So, obviously the result was a lot different this week, and we're proud of that fact.
Hey, Pat, what's up? Good to see you. Looking good.
Good to see you, Chris. You're doing well, broadcasting. I think you might have a new career ahead of you.
Hey, I'm trying. John makes it pretty easy on me. But in terms of preparation, like what's kind of the difference in preparation? I know with 5v5, there's a lot of film study, there's a lot of back and forth with strategy, but for 3v3, is it kind of more just like freestyle, go out there and play versus, a lot of the preparation that goes into maybe like a 5v5 week?
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's like a ton of preparation compared to 5v5. I think it's more just knowing tendencies and, trying to figure out what archetypes and what builds the other teams are going to run. Kind of versus what we do, because it's you played 3v3. There's not many plays that you can run. Maybe a couple off balls here or there, just cuts. But I think it's momentum based. Like you really have to be in a good spot. playing the game. Obviously, we practice before we play. So momentum wise, we were winning in scrims today, and obviously that kind of goes over to hopefully the actual games that we play.
So when rim runners, it's going to be a tongue twister the entire time here. When they come out in game 2 and they have a completely different archetype build in their lineup, do you see that as maybe like a panic move for them, or is that them trying to find different ways to throw you guys off your own game plan? Because it didn't. I mean, just looking at the stats, it didn't really work well in game 2, but they stuck with it going into game 3, where it's a little bit closer. How do you break that down when a team kind of really switches up their archetypes mid-series?
Yeah, I think it's just we're ready for anything. At that point, after game 1, we felt like there was probably going to be a change. We weren't sure of it. I mean, we kind of talked about it before, so we were kind of ready at that point. It was just, are they going to do it? Or are they not going to do it? And at that point, you got to let the other team, be themselves. So if they want to make a change and they want to stick with it, that's not really going to affect our game. We'll make a couple adjustments, but really we have a game plan for everything, and then we just kind of stick to it.
Yeah, Pat, talk a little bit about the vibe. Obviously, coming off of a tough finals loss in Indy, like how much how tough was it to kind of focus back on 3v3? Is I'm sure the guys wanted to get right back out with 5v5 and kind of redeem what happened in Indy, even though we did get to the finals, which is amazing. But is it tough for them to kind of switch their mindset back to 3v3 after such a mentally tolling tournament in Indy?
Yeah, no, that tournament, it was fun for a lot of reasons. I mean, obviously we made it to the finals. We unfortunately didn't win, but for us, especially for Cap, since he's a rookie, I'm glad that he got to experience that, and especially in those high pressure situation games. Beating the T-Wolves, who are looked at as the number 1 team right now, and unfortunately we didn't really have that much energy versus Sixers because we had a 10-minute turnaround. But it is one of those things. Going to the playoffs, we'll have to come back and bring. But as far as like switching from 5v5 to 3v3, it is definitely a different mentality wise. Just because 3 guys only playing one time, so the other 2 kind of have to watch, and they help coach as well, so they kind of like call out some things. But for us, it's just mainly like, doesn't matter if it's 5v5 or 3v3. There's money on the line, and we want to win. So if we can be the first team to win 3v3, that's a huge accomplishment. And we obviously did well last tournament in 3v3, so we're gonna keep going at it.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the newcomer to the team, Caps. And since this is the first official coach stream, this is my first chance to ask you this question. Obviously, anytime you make a mid-season trade, it's going to affect team chemistry. It's going to affect, probably how you go about prepping for your next game, your next series. Obviously, he came in during the last 3v3 tournament, made his debut in the 3v3 tournament, and then we saw him full-time, obviously, in the 5v5 that followed. What was not necessarily the motivation behind the trade, but how well? I mean, obviously he's fit in well, but how does a player like Cap come into a team like the back-to-back champs and really find his spot in this star-studded lineup?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a tough spot. I mean, being the only guy who is essentially, they're a rookie, and you're playing with 4 guys who have won 2 back-to-back championships, so you kind of have to have a little bit of an edge to you, to come in and say, hey, I understand that you've done a lot of things well, but this is what I can provide, and this is what I can do well. And obviously, we're still learning, what Cap likes to do on offense, how he likes to play defense, and we're trying to mix that into what the 4 guys do well already. So, for us, it's always about a give and take when you're bringing in new players. They have to be able to buy into the system, and obviously, Cap did that very well at that tournament, and that was his first time playing in stage in these high pressure games. So we like what we see, and now we just got to carry that in the playoffs in August.
Yeah, and looking forward to the matchup tomorrow against the Hornets. We kind of asked Dini a similar question, but what do you see in that matchup? I know you guys have played them a bunch this season, so they might be able to come out with a different twist, a different lineup. Are you expecting anything different from the previous matchups with the Hornets?
So I got to watch, I think, the first 3 or 4 games. We watched the first 3 or 4 games today when they played Gen G, and I didn't get to watch the last one, but they did beat Gen G. So, for us, I think they're a scrappy team. And it's kind of funny. I was talking to West earlier today, Big West from the Hornets, and he was like, "Man, we got to see you guys again. Like, we're tired of y'all." And so just we're going back and forth. And I think for them, there's not much to lose. Being that underdog in those situations, we've been through that before. In season 3. So it is very motivating, especially when you have nothing to lose, and you feel like there's a good team, and obviously we're two-time champs, so everyone really wants to beat us. So it really doesn't matter who we're playing, if it's the best team or worst team. They're going to bring their best shot. So we're just going to prepare like we've always done. Watch the film that they played today, and go out there and hoop.
Absolutely. And then continue along with that. Tomorrow is going to be a really unique situation here because you're going to be playing live at the Wizards draft party. Kind of a preview of what we might be able to see once District E opens up down there next to Capital One Arena. How exciting is it for this team knowing that they're going to be playing in front of essentially a live home audience where someone is going to be selected to join this Wizards roster for the NBA team?
Yeah, well, it's definitely unique because we're trying to bring in as many fans as we can, and obviously District D, we actually want fans to watch us in person. So doing it at this draft party tomorrow for the Wizards is going to be huge to kind of connect with those Wizards fans. Say, hey, we got a good team over here too. You want to support us? We'd love for them to watch us, obviously, and we play in the Wizards off season too, so there's a lot of crossover. If you're fiending for basketball, this is the perfect opportunity because basketball is all year round. If you could watch the 2K League, WNBA is going on right now, and it's exciting because District E is going to be huge. I mean, you guys are going to be there, right? You're going to come up and watch our first game. I need some yeses from you guys.
Are you talking to us or
Yes,
the viewers in chat?
No, to you.
Oh, of
you,
course we're
first
going to be
off.
there.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm like, what? I'm like 30 minutes down the road. Of course I'm going to be
So
there.
that's what I'm saying. It's like we want people to be there. We want supporters because it's fun going to Andy and playing these games. But we really want people behind us, like yelling at the other team, cheering on our guys when they do something well. It's the passion of the game you want to see, and these guys thrive off that. To be honest with you, so I think it makes them play better.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's be honest, there is no experience like Day Fry on stage.
Yes.
So that is something I know this area will absolutely fall in love with as soon as they have the chance to see it live in person. Head coach Pat Crossan of Wizards District Gaming looking to go back-to-back in the 3v3 circuit as well. I like it. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Hornets game as well.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
Congrats,
it.
Pat. Thanks.
Talk to you.
All right, so a clean 3-0 sweep for. Oh, he closed it out, and that's going to throw all the cameras off. That is fantastic. You know what? We're gonna edit this live because that's one of the. Oh nope, they're gonna rejoin. See, look, he heard me. Pat. That is why Pat is Coach of the Year in my book for 2 years in a row because of clutch moves like that. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so it's a 3-0 series sweep over the Rim Runners, and again, just previewing tomorrow's game. It has an 8 p.m. tip-off. Tentatively. So make sure you follow on social media, Wizards D.G on Twitter and all the social media as well. Make sure you follow here live on Twitch. Not only can you catch tomorrow's game, but you can catch Chris streaming as well on the official Wiz DG Twitch channel. But we will be back again tomorrow at 8 p.m. Chris, any final thoughts here from this 3-0 clean sweep of the Rim Runners?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad that my first commentating experience was a clean sweep. That's pretty awesome for the guys and myself. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, our first, NBA 2K League team matchup in a 3v3 scenario. Like Pat and Deanie both said, they're going to be scrappy. We played them a bunch of times this year, so it should be a back and forth series. Obviously, I'm predicting that we're going to come out on top, but I'm excited to get right back into the 3v3 action and then another game as well the following day. So a lot of exciting action coming up, and I can't wait to be a part of it with yourself and the rest of the fans.
Absolutely. So that is going to do it for us here tonight on the official co-stream of Wizards District Gaming. Again, it's a 3-0 series sweep of the Rim Runners tomorrow night, 8 p.m. again against the Hornets. On behalf of Chris, my name is John. Thank you so much for watching and cheering on Wiz DG, and we will see you here tomorrow night, 8 p.m.